Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All praise and glory belongs to Allah, the one who takes us from darkness into light. It is through His special mercy that He allows some of His creations who live in darkness, that He allows them to have the light of guidance so that they can come out of it. And once a person is out of His special mercy, then those creations of Allah who might be in light are thrown into darkness. When you look at the time that we live in, it seems like there is darkness all around us. If we look at our families, we see darkness. In our houses, there is darkness. In our communities, we see darkness. In the societies, we see darkness. In the countries, we see darkness. We see that the oppressors are oppressing the people around the world regardless of their creed or nation. There is different type of oppression. One is that you kill the soul. The other is that you kill the body. And we see that all around the world, both of these oppressions are happening. You might see a person that he or she is alive, but their soul might be dead. And the person whose soul is dead is actually in darkness. And how does the soul die? The soul dies as soon as the person's connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gets severed. If you look at humanity right now, they do not have a connection with the Creator. If they do have a connection, it's based on wrong ideology or belief. And in that, it's not only the Christians or the Jews or the atheists or the agnostic. You might be surprised that atheists, I might have mentioned this before, that even the atheists are having their own churches now. And there is actually, it was an article that I saw, and I believe I still have it. And if you want, I could give that to you. The atheists are having their churches. And it's actually a growing religion. Now this growing religion is based on the fact that there is no God, but they have a place to worship. Now the question comes is that if you do not believe in God, if you deny that there is God, then whom are you worshipping? And the answer to that is that we are worshipping the fact that there is no God. So when you look at the world and you see all of the oppression, all of the darkness, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His mercy has given us lights. And one of the lights that we have, and we are gathered here under that light to give us guidance, in al-Husayn misbahul huda wa safinatun nijah. Then most certainly, without any doubt, without any shadow of a doubt, that Imam Hussain ﷺ is the light of guidance. And he is that ship of reverence. That if we were to get on to that ship, in order to get to that ship in the darkness that we live in, we need to have some sort of guidance, light, that can take us to that ship. Because once you are on that ship, they will take you towards your deliverance. But before that, we need to get on to that ship. In order to get on to that ship, we need to take the guidance from the personality, the character, the sacrifice, the history of Imam Hussain, and go through that light and get on to that ship which he is, and he will get you towards your deliverance. The question comes though, why is there darkness? Why are there people dying? Why are there poverty? Why there is People killing. Why is the kids, 11-year-olds, taking guns and shooting each other? Why do we have these individuals who are acting lower than animals? That an animal like a dog would have loyalty to the master and would protect the house that the dog is being fed to. But you see people, they do not have any loyalty. The people who are giving them or becoming the means for their sustenance, they are making sure that these individuals do not exist. They do nothing, they're not happy. You see that a small fish in South America will take the babies inside of its mouth and not eat for 6 months and just raise the babies inside of the mouth so that they have grown up enough that they can defend themselves. But you will see fathers who abandon their kids and they never go back to it. You see, the animals are sacrificing for their kids, but you see fathers who throw them in front of the TVs and iPads and game consoles and they don't care what they are going to become. They do not give them the shelter so that they can grow up enough that they can defend themselves. But you see that in the animal kingdom, where animals are protecting their kids so that they are old enough to protect themselves against the predators. And here we have the biggest predator, Shaitan, who is there to hunt us down, and we do not care if our kids are in front of it, and it destroys them. We have in the animal kingdom mothers. If you were to take a look at how they take care of their babies, you would be amazed. Even to have the babies to live among the babies of the predators so that the kids can be saved, the mother will break the contact. Imagine that. That it will lay the eggs in the lair of the predator, and these babies, they grow up, they look like the predator's kids, and the predator takes care of all of them, doesn't eat their own. And that mother has to wait, is patient, that my kids, once they grow up and they are old enough, they will come back to me and I will take care of them. The mothers of today, they are not willing to let go of their kids to go and get trained and know the knowledge of Islam to another country because they do not want to separate from them. I have so many youths who say, my mom won't let me go. Even a trip where you can go for 2 to 3 months, where you're going to get the information that is necessary, they will not let them go. For survival, the mothers are willing to let go of their kids. Many examples. But let's get to the point why there is all of this darkness. You've heard of the fact that all of the darkness that exists, the reason why there is oppression is because of what? The love of Allah? The love of this world. Why do we love this world? Yes. Why do we love this world? When you think about it, we're not of this world, but we come into this world and we start loving it as if it is our place forever. Have you guys seen who have made rims as their God? Have you seen those people who have made rims as their God? Have you seen those individuals who have made cars as their God? Have you seen those individuals who have made cell phones as their God? Have you seen those individuals who have made computers as their God? Have you seen those individuals who have made iPads as their God? They will submit to them, take care of it, worship it, love it more than their Creator. Have you seen them? Look around. You might find somebody. And if you can't find somebody right now while you look around, when you go home, take a look in there. Why do we do that? As human beings, why do we do that? You like diamonds? You guys probably don't like diamonds but this side loves diamonds. It is as if you do not give a diamond, you do not love me. And the bigger the carat is, the bigger the stone is, the more love you have for me. And they're actually in China, in a culture where totally diamonds had no worth. Diamonds had no worth. Diamonds were never associated to love in a country like that, because there's 1.4 or 1.7 billion individuals. They started programming them about Valentine's and about how, if you want to show love, then you buy the biggest diamond that there is. Why do people love diamonds? Why do women especially love diamonds? People love silver, people love gold, people love money, people love what else? Being famous. Tell me, even one person here, if you were to ask them, would you like to be famous? The response is going to be? No. The reason why we might give the response no is because we know we will never become famous. But if there was the opportunity for you to become famous, everybody will say, I would love to become famous. Who does not like that they should become in such a state where everybody on this earth knows them? Then when they walk, people bow down, people respect. They go everywhere they go. It's like, oh, Allah, you've come, mashallah. Who does not like that? All the celebrities in the world, do you think they don't like fame? They don't like fame after they've become famous. But they love fame until they were not famous. That's why they strive to become famous. We love becoming famous. We love gold, we love silver, we love what? Diamonds. What else do we love? Control. Huh? Iron we love too. We love control. The more people you can control, the more you will love. The more people do not listen to you, they disobey you, the more you do not like them. And the control is not just on the household. Just imagine, the countries that have 170 plus bases all over the world, where they have individuals who are paid by them to become the representatives of those countries so that they can control those countries through those individuals. That the borders, the yellow line that has been stretched and made is not enough. You should expand. Have you heard of Alexander the Great? Have you heard of Napoleon? Have you heard of those people? They were never satisfied. They conquered one, second, third, fourth. Until to the point where there was nowhere else to go. They said, okay, now we have conquered everything. They didn't know there was something else after the ocean. Now that the whole world is conquered, does that become satisfactory for us? No. What are we going to do? We're going to make colonies on Mars. Do you know right now people are actually paying? You know that? People are actually paying to go and live on Mars. And once we are in Mars, we are going to control Mars. And after we control Mars, what are we going to do? We're going to look at Pluto. We're going to look at some other planets. The last frontier. You guys ever heard of that? Where no man has ever gone before. You guys have heard of that? That's Star Trek, right? Where they are going to go and conquer the whole of this universe, and wherever they find a planet, they're going to go on it. Teach those civilizations what we want them to be. We want to control this whole universe. Why? Here's the answer to it. Imagine a world where everybody had diamonds. Diamonds were like coal, like stones, like the grain of sand everywhere. Imagine if all of the women of the world had diamonds. No woman will say that diamond is actually a sign of love. Everybody has it. Imagine that all of the women of the world had the same amount of diamonds. Would anybody want a diamond? No. Would there be any fighting over diamonds? Would there be blood diamonds? Will there be people persecuted and killed on daily basis so that those diamonds can be mined? No. Would anybody pay thousands of dollars so that they can have a piece of stone that is carved and shiny? No. Everybody has them. What if everybody had gold? Would we fight over gold? No. What if everybody had silver? What if everybody was famous? Would we fight over becoming famous? No. What if everybody was rich? No issues. What if everybody was the king? Would we fight over it? No. Why do we fight over these things? Why do we have love for this? Why do we run after? You know that there was a time in history where people used to buy salt at the price of gold? Salt. It was one of the most expensive things. Wars have happened on the masala you put on your biryani and your halim. People have fought wars. People have been killed. I don't know the amount of how many people. But now today what happens? Nobody's fighting over spices. You go to the grocery store, you buy your national masala like for a few cents and you come home. Nobody's fighting over salt. Why? Because everybody has salt. There will come a time when people will not fight over oil anymore. Why? Because everybody is going to drive electric cars. Once everybody is driving electric cars, you think the value of oil is going to be there? Do you think it's going to be sold for $60, $80, $90 per gallon? Do you think that when we are pumping that gas into the car, you're going to feel like you're putting the blood of your brothers and sisters in the car? Do you think for that they are going to go and kill innocent individuals, and it is as if they're not taking oil from the land, they're taking blood from the land? Nobody's going to fight over oil. So why do we fight? Because these things are not present to everybody. Because only a few can get rich. Because only a few can become famous, because only a few have diamonds, because only a few can have bullion gold, because only a few can have mines of silver, because only a few can control, because only a few have oil. So what would be the solution to bring justice in this earth? Give oil to everybody. Give diamonds to everybody. Give gold to everybody. Give silver to everybody. Give control to everybody. Have everybody become famous. Is that the solution for justice to happen on the face of this earth? No. What would be the solution? The solution would be for us to realize we are not here in this world forever. We only come for 60, 80, 90, 100 years. We're going to go from here. And while we are here, we are being tested every single day. And once we complete our test, we are going to be rewarded. Anything of this earth will not match. Imagine a person becoming famous here. How many people would know them? 1.7 billion or 3.4 billion or 7 billion or 8 billion? Hey? What if you, on the day of judgment, are raised and you have all of humanity from Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, to the last human being, they're all there. And the angels raise you up. And you are raised in cloth that is illuminating. And you have the angels there. Open the limousine door. You go into that limousine door. And all of humanity is watching you. And then that limousine of yours goes through up. I remember you. Goes through the whole of humanity. And you see the prophets there. You see the Masumin alayhim salam there. And they welcome you. They welcome you. They say that we've been waiting for you. Where were you? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I have become pleased with you. You are pleased with me. O soul, which is in complete contentment, you are in my safety. Enter into the paradise. With that fame, does this world's fame seem any important? It doesn't. So what is the solution? The solution is to have people realize what is the worth of the hereafter and what is the worth of this world. Once they find out what is the worth of this world, they will never be attached to it. They will do their tests, their exams in a way they are supposed to. They reach the level of nearness to Allah and they have complete success for eternity. How is that going to be possible? There is only one solution, and that is Inna Deena Indallahi Islam. Islam says, on this earth you should not be known by anybody, but you should be known in the heavens. That among the people nobody should know you. That you should be known in the heavens. Malaika should know you. Islam says that once you come out to gain knowledge, this is the amount of respect that you have, that the angels just spread their wings on the floor that you walk. There was a great scholar. He never came out of his house with shoes to go for his lesson. He would always walk bare feet. And people would ask him, why do you do that? He would always say, I do not want to step on the wings of the angels with the shoe on. Because I know they have spread the wings. It was his conviction that he knew that they have spread their wings. Before you came to this center, right? When you started from your home, the angels started spreading their wings. Although you drove with your 4x4 on top of them, or with your van or whatever, car that you had, but they spread their wings. Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, he says that if the people of the world knew what is the status of those individuals who just intend to go to Allah, they haven't reached Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are only intending. Munajat Muridin, if you were to read it, if they were just doing irada, just an intention, they want to go towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Imam Sajjad says that if the world would get to know their status, they will never let them step their feet on earth. They would put themselves in front of them, that they walk on them. Their status is so high that if the world was going to know, if humanity was going to know that this person has intended to go to Allah, all of human beings, they will lie on the floor. They will not let you touch your feet on the ground. Who gets so famous? You know anybody who does get that famous? Who are these people? They haven't reached Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine what will happen if they reached Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine what would happen if humanity was to know that they have reached Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what they would do. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. He's the one who has created death and life so that he can test and find out who among you are performing the best of actions. So once we find out this place is a test, once we find out that the worth that is there of the things that we are attached to actually are worthless just because only few have. If everybody had, we would not fight over it. If you realize the actual goal is the love of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, that is gold. The actual wealth of a person is the iman that that person has. It's the faith, it's the conviction that you have. They said that nobody was richer in spiritual wealth than Ayatollah Bahjat Rahmatullah. He was a wealthy man. Imam Ali says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put a price for you. He has put a price for you, and the price of yours is heaven. Do not sell yourself shorter than that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created us for Him. He's the one who says that you can become my abd, you can become my slave. I am your master, you become my slave. Once you become my slave, I will put this whole earth in front of you. You can change it any way you want. If you become my slave, I will give you the power. You can lift that door with 2 fingers. The door that 70, 80 people could not close, you can lift it up like this as if it's nothing. Become my abd, become my slave. See what you can do on this earth. The sun will become in your obedience. The moon will become in your obedience. Water will become, winds will become. Every single thing that I've created will be in your obedience. You tell them what to do, they will do it. What? Become my abd, become my slave. If you were to become my slave, I will make everything to become your slave. But if you do not become my slave, I will make you a slave of everything. You will become a slave of the iPad. You will become the slave of a car. You will become slave of rim. You will become slave of a house. You will become slave of every single thing. And you will never become successful. This is where we are. And this is the reason for all of the darkness. The individuals committing the atrocities, they are slaves of control. The individuals who are committing the atrocities, they are slaves of the wrong ideas about God. They are slaves of the wealth that is promised to them. They are slaves of gold and silver and diamonds. And these were the people that were the enemies of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Shimr sat on Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein said, you do not know who I am? Do you not know that I am the grandson of the Prophet? Do you not know I am the son of Ali? Do you not know I am the son of Fatima? Do you not want the intercession of my grandfather on the day of judgment? His reply was, I know who you are, but I have been promised the wealth of this world, and for sure today I will get that wealth. He was a slave of gold and silver. And the person he's sitting on his chest is a slave of Allah. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. He is the slave of Allah. The neck that he is cutting, the blood that is coming out of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it is my blood. Ya Thar Allah wa ibn Thar. O blood of Allah, O the son of the blood of Allah. Because he is my slave, every single thing that he has, I will associate that to myself. His love is my love. His enemy is my enemy. His lover is my lover. Whoever gives him respect, I will give him respect. Whoever gives him wealth, I will give him my wealth. Whoever cries on him, I will make sure the day that every eye will cry, but not that eye. On the day of judgment, every eye will be crying other than the eye that cried in the musibah of Imam Hussain. So how is this azah of Imam Hussain connected with the Imam of the time? Because this azah has the power to free men who have become slaves of this world. This azah of Imam Hussain can make you a whore. This azah of Imam Hussain, this crying, this matam, this azah of Imam Hussain can change you from a slave of this world into a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing else has that power. Nothing else are we doing globally. This is the only thing that we have all around the world. And if this azah, the power that it has, the enemies knows that if this azah stays, if people come together every year and they shed the tears for the musibah of Imam Hussain, if they attend, not if one, maybe 10, maybe 15, maybe all of them will leave the slavery of this world and they will become the slave of Allah. Because the sacrifice of Imam Hussain has that power to change you. There's a very famous Ayatollah, is actually very famous in his mimbar as well, Ustad Ansarian. He says that I went to a majlis of Imam Hussain. As I went there, I was not wearing my garb, I was not wearing the clothes of the Prophet. As I went in there were two people talking to each other. And I overheard them what they were saying. The one person was saying to the other, you know, last year I came to the majlis of Imam Hussain. And that majlis changed me. He said, for 14 years I had not prayed. 14 years I had not prayed. The majlis of Imam Hussain changed me in a way that it has been 1 year I have completed my 14 years of qadha prayers. In 1 year I was able to perform 14 years of my qadha prayers. He said the fasting that I did not do, I fasted the whole year. I was able to do my qadha fasts other than that 1 month that I had to fast on my Ramadan, and I will fast after Muharram. Who was this person? This person was committing the greater sins. When he came to Imam Hussain majlis, he changed. He changed how? He came close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was a slave of the world before he became the slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was submitting to his lowly desires before he was submitting now to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which majlis, which gathering, which coming of people have this power to change you? It is the azah of Imam Hussain. How can a person not change? A person who came into Islam, he told me this. I heard it from his own mouth. He said, I was in the prison, and one person narrated the story of Ali Asghar. He said, when I heard the story of Ali Asghar, I cried like a baby. He said, I never had cried in my life so much. After I cried so much, I asked, why was this 6 months baby killed in that manner? Why did the father sacrifice his baby? And that person told me to save Islam. He said, if the price of that religion is the blood of Ali Asghar, from today I say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. He became a Muslim. Ali Asghar can even make a person whore. The blood of Ali Asghar has the power to change people. You know, Bibi Zainab was put into ropes. Do you know that? The daughter of the Prophet was put into ropes as a prisoner. It is just as if people had put Bibi Fatima in ropes. Bibi Zainab was taken as a prisoner. She who was taken as a prisoner was not a prisoner. She whose hands were tied and taken from one city to the other. You know, from Kufa to Sham, there were more than 10 cities where this kafla had to go. You hear about Kufa, you hear about Sham. You hardly hear about the more than 10 cities that were in between Kufa and Sham. And every city was made in a way that people were there to make, they were all dressed in new clothes. They were there for happiness. They were there to see the prisoners as if it was like a show. And they went through all of those cities. Tied hands. Bibi Zainab her soul was free. In her soul she was a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Her hands were tied, but she was free. And the tyrants who were against her, they were the prisoners of their own lowly desires. It seemed like they were free. They were not free. They themselves were slaves. Even if they put you in a prison, but your soul is in the submission to Allah, you're not a prisoner. You're a free man. But if you are not in prison, but you are in submission to this world, even though you have the freedom, but you are not free, you're a prisoner. How is it that somebody can hear about that 4-year-old daughter of Imam Hussein? You know, this daughter of Imam Hussein could not go to sleep. She was used to sleeping on the chest of Imam Hussein. And as she slept on the chest of Imam Hussein called her Sakina. Sakina, someone who gives peace, contentment, security. Can you imagine a heart of Imam Hussein who requires peace and security and contentment from a being like Sakina? Can you imagine her status? Can you imagine the love that Imam Hussein had for Bibi Sakina? She was used to sleeping on the chest of Imam Hussein. Where did she have to sleep now? Imagine a house that is old. The walls are going to fall. There is no roof. If there is, rain comes down, wind comes down, sun comes down. And in that house which is about to fall, there are the daughters of the prophets. There are little kids. They're given food for 20, they are 50. There's not enough food. There's not enough space to lie down. You know how many nights Bibi Zainab stood all night? And here lies the daughter of Imam Hussein on a cold floor in darkness, her hair opened. As she closes her eyes, she sees her father. Her father says, "Oh, my little daughter, come to me." And that little daughter of Imam Hussein wakes up with a smile on her face and runs. Comes to Bibi Zainab and says, "You know, I saw my father in my dream and he was telling me to come." Bibi understood that this Bibi Sakina saying come, that means that Sakina is not going to be with us for too long. And as Bibi Sakina says the name of Imam Hussein as father, all the rest of the kids started remembering their father. And the kids are crying, the mothers are crying, the sisters are crying, the wives are crying. And all of this crying goes into the ears of Yazid. Now I don't think you guys can remember, you cannot put this in your mind at all. My young brothers and sisters, you cannot put this in your mind. You cannot imagine what happened after that. The door of that house, broken down house, opens. There is a man standing with a tray. There is something in the tray and there is a cloth on top of it. This man is coming now towards Bibi Sakina and puts that tray in the feet of Bibi Sakina. Bibi Sakina crying, saying, "I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm remembering my father. I'm not hungry." You guys cannot imagine what happened when the cloth was taken away. Bibi Sakina saw the severed head of Imam Hussein on a platter. Can you imagine what would happen to a daughter who's only 4 to see the severed head of her father in a platter? Do you know how fast the heart would have to beat? Do you know what would happen to that daughter? How she will be shattered, how from inside she will be broken. And this little daughter of Imam Hussein sits down and takes the heads in her hands. Can you imagine that? She starts speaking to the severed head of Imam Hussein. She starts saying, "Baba, once you were gone, we were slapped, we were robbed. Baba, you have gone, the daughters of the prophets have been taken prisoners. Baba, since you've been gone, we've been put in here." As Bibi Sakina keeps on talking to the severed head of Imam Hussein, all of a sudden she brings the head of Imam Hussein closer to her cheeks. She puts her one cheek to the cheek of Imam Hussein. This was the way Bibi Sakina used to greet her father. And as she does that, her heart was beating so fast. Her heart was beating so fast that once she put her cheek to the cheek of Imam Hussein, Imam Hussein's cheek was cold and Bibi Sakina's cheek became cold. Her heart beating so fast could not beat that fast anymore. And Bibi Sakina just drops on the floor. Now Imam Sajjad is looking at Bibi Sakina. He comes over, tries to wake her up. Bibi Sakina is gone. As Bibi Sakina is gone, everybody is crying. Everybody is saying the daughter of the Prophet is dead in a prison. In a prison, she's gone. Imam Sajjad is watching. Now what do I do? How am I going to do the funeral? Everyone is here as a prisoner. How are we going to find kafan for Bibi Sakina? How are we going to bury her? And Imam Sajjad starts digging up her grave with his own hands. Can you imagine the hands of a brother digging the grave for her sister? How is it possible? You hear all of that, you do not change. Why still our hearts are slaves of this world? How is it possible? Oh Allah, give us the strength to become free like her. Oh Allah, these tears that we have from our eyes, forgive our sins. Oh Allah, give us the strength to be able to have that religion that was saved by the sacrifice of Bibi Sakina. Oh Allah, give us the ability to submit to you. Oh Allah, forgive our sins, we have done you wrong. We have done you wrong. Please give us the ability, the guidance, the light of Imam Hussein, so that we can be on that ship of reference. Oh Allah, protect the Muraja'een, protect the ulama, increase in the levels of the martyrs. Please make the usara, the people who are in prisoners, to become free. Get them back to their mothers and to their daughters and to their sisters. Oh Allah, the innocent people around the world, our brothers and sisters who are being killed, who have been blown up, whose bodies are shattered, whose mothers are looking at the shattered bodies of their sons and daughters. Oh Allah, please give them patience and give us the ability to follow in the footsteps of those individuals who give life in this world. Oh Allah, curse and bring the more and more azab on those individuals who have done the atrocities in Karbala. Oh Allah, those oppressors that are oppressing the people today, may Allah give them a severe punishment in this world and also in the hereafter. Oh Allah, make us from the friends and followers of our Imam. May he come as soon as possible. What's else?